Hello, good morning, beautiful people. Hope you're fine. My name is M. Tommy Pastor, Peace Ark Ministry. I know for the past how many days I've been giving you updates back to back. Alright, so I'm here to say I have a whole lot of time this week to do what I'm doing right now, so use me while I'm here. Alright, so I know many of us watched that particular event at the youth convention, and definitely I did so. But there's some stuff I still want to bring to your notice. We have, man, so much to learn from that event. So much to learn from that event. So much to learn from that event. There's this part where we have two of the youth that came out to talk and gave us their life experience, what really happened, how they got to meet with Prophet Joshua, and how their life was transformed and all that. Very interesting, very captivating, very touching, very, very emotional. Now, it's not even about the captivating part. I wanted to listen and learn. I had to watch that particular session from beginning to the end, like almost 2-3 times. I want you to learn. After learn, in short, if you are a family person, call your children to sit down and also watch this video. If they are not with you, send it to them. Please, I want you to learn. I want you to learn. And I also want you to appreciate the life and times of our family Lord Prophet Joshua. I don't know how many of us, our lives would have been if our path did not cross. If we did not know that man, if we did not meet, I don't know how our lives would have been. I'm also part of that testimony. So I'm going to allow you to watch this video. Please, it's a little bit long, but take your time and watch it. If you can't finish it now, pause, come back and continue. You need to learn. As I said, send it to your younger siblings, send it to your children. If they're around, let them sit down and watch with you. You have so much to learn. Pay attention. Pay attention. God bless you. See you in the next episode.
Can you tell us a little about yourself, your background, and tell us how your journey started in life?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Emmanuel. I'm from Akwa Ibom State, and I was born and brought up in Benin City, Edo State. I actually grew up with my grandparents. My grandfather used to be an idol worshiper. So while I was still a little kid, we will get engaged in it. During festive period, we were being asked to, join in sacrifice. So my grandfather, he do had other spiritualists who do come to join him. So our duty is to offer sacrifice. We will be given this food in our hands to drop in some specific place of the house. And according to the Benin tradition, it's called awisu, means in English, eyes of the devil. So indirectly, I was serving the devil, giving the devil food unknowingly to me, the mindset of a little boy. So that was really the beginning of the disaster, being in the world.
What do you mean by disaster?
Okay. There's a big difference between being in light and being in darkness. So when I say being in the world, it means the disaster. Yeah.
So we thank you very much for that powerful experience.
Thank you very much.
So before you go on, let's talk to Mr. Uyi. Mr. Uyi, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you encountered God through the squad?
Yeah, sure. My name is Osamu Imeogiku. In summary, I'm actually I'm a product of the grace, the mercy, the compassion, and the selflessness of our Father in the Lord, Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua. I am who I am today because of Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua. And so it's important we start there. I was lucky enough to encounter Christ at a very young age of 9, although the circumstances weren't that pleasant, but it all led us all to Christ. As early as 1994, my father was critically ill, and we were losing all hope, and it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good. The doctors had no idea what was happening. We were moving from pillar to posts. And I actually thought I was going to lose him. And I was almost 10, roughly 9 and 10. It was a dark time in the family. And then one of my aunts or sisters came and it was like, there is a place in Ikotuegbe. And we were living far. I think we were somewhere in Abulegba. I was like, Ikotun what? It was like Ikotuegbe. The man of God prays for people. They see, they hear, and we're like, listen, this is Lagos. It doesn't happen. And so my dad came and he said, well, I will go and see. And he came and he saw. He had an encounter with the prophet, and all that he said was, go to the altar, pray, and come back. He went back, and daddy said, as from today, your problem was over. He came home, full of energy, full of life, and said we were going to church on Sunday. And that was it. So I went from seeing my dad almost dying to leaving, and I said, I would follow you to go and see this Jesus. And I followed him at age 9, and I've been following him since then. So that's my story of how I came to this synagogue. Thank you.
Used to see this idol worshiping like a normal thing, like an African. So God used to it. Sometimes we practicalize what my grandfather used to do, thinking it's just a normal thing. Indirectly, we have been initiating ourselves to the devil. So we got to this essence why I had to leave my father's house, my grandfather. My mom had to relocate me due to one or two things. So later went to my father while he was serving in Benin City. So due to the nature of his job, he was not always constant in the house. So we were just myself and the namesake. So later on, it happens that he was transferred to here in Lagos. So he had to relocate everybody down to Lagos. That was when the misery started. The case of being a witch. So, as a little boy, I really don't know what is it to be a witch. So I invited some set of people to come and offer prayer or something in the house. So
how old were you then?
I guess I was about 13 years old. Yeah. So I was talking to a place, a prayer place where they conducted 7 days dry fasting without even the water. So if you look at me, I'm very much fat now. So you can easily count my ribs. So
let's speak to Mr. Uyi. Mr. Uyi, you said when your father came, he encountered Jesus and
Yes.
saw and conquered.
Yes.
So how did that encounter affect you? What was the impact in your life?
Well, you have to look at it from my perspective, right? I was 9, almost 10, and I thought I was going to lose my father. And then Jesus brought him back to life. So obviously, I want to know this Jesus. I want to see this Jesus. I want to follow this Jesus, the Jesus who did what the doctors could not do for him. And so I decided to follow Jesus at that very young age because it was clear it was not the doctors. It was clear it was not the fasting and praying we were doing. It was clear that it was the mercy of God. It was clear that it was Jesus. And that was how I just made up my mind and didn't look back then.
So that's very good. So what happened afterwards?
Well, we carried our cross, as Jesus said. You follow me, you carry your cross. We continued following God. And of course, just because you worship God doesn't mean you won't have challenges. I think that's one of the key things I want people to take away from it. It's just because you worship God or you're in the presence of God does not mean that once in a while you will not face challenges. They will come. The thing is, Jesus only promised to see us through, but they will come. And so that's the summary of it.
Yes, that's why the Bible says, in this world there will be tribulations.
Yes.
There will be challenges.
Yes.
But he has promised to see us through.
Definitely. I think some of those challenges, they're clear. They are online for everybody to see. I've had a couple of testimonies given in the synagogue. My life story has been one of divine guidance, sort of. So every time I've faced a challenge, every time I've faced something that's beyond me, the God of our father, Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua, always steps in and corrects me and directs me. Even, I'm a software engineer today. So like I said, I came in at the age of 9. So I literally grew up in the Sunday school of the synagogue. Thank you.
So where was the Sunday school back then?
Oh, okay. So now a bit of history lessons. The Sunday school was just on this side of the church, and then the canteen used to be on that other side. And the altar was a bit out with some white planks and round. You probably seen it on Emmanuel TV, and it was in this story building back then, but we'll get to that later. Like I was saying, my story had been one of divine guidance, because from that young age, all I knew was the house of God. All I knew was the church. And based on the kind of encounter we had, my parents practically moved across the street. And so my dad became a worker in the church. My mom became a worker in the church. I later became a worker in the church. My sister did. It's the way of the family. It's our way of saying thank you, Jesus. We're grateful. It's our way of remaining in His presence. And because God has been faithful, the God of our father, Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua, has been faithful. I remember when I was about to get into the university. And so the first year, I wasn't even sure what to study. And so most people will tell you, oh, you're brilliant. You know biology. Why don't you read biology? No, why don't you read medicine? You know, you're brilliant since you know biology. Some will say, oh, you know English. Maybe go do mass comm or stuff. So I was stuck. I was in a pickle. And so the first year, I picked up my university form and filled whatever I liked. And when you fill whatever you like, you get whatever comes from it. And so after that, I decided to put the matter in God's hands. And then we usually have Sunday service, Wednesday service. I think we even had Fruit of the Womb service. And basically, because I lived across the street, I was always in church. So when I put it in God's hands, I found myself in a dream at the altar, and I saw myself holding computer parts, and just computer parts. And then we were being asked, what do you want to be? And then from nowhere, I just saw, computer. I'd always had a fascination for it, but not that deep. And then that day, I was like, okay, the path is clear. I went to the bank, picked up the JAM form, and simply filled in computer engineering for University of Benin. That very year, I got in no stories, because where God guides, He provides.
So before you were doing guesswork with your career?
Exactly.
Until you came here and you were
I was listening to every other person except God. You know, I had an uncle, he was a medical doctor, was like, you're good in biology, try medicine. You're good. And I know there are a lot of youths here, and some of you are in school, some of you are about to get into school, and you're thinking about it. So the first thing I would say is follow your heart. God has dropped your vision and your purpose in your heart. And if you're having doubt, then you pray about it, and He will answer.
Yes, so Mr. We want you to hold your thoughts there. We want to continue with Mr. Emmanuel. So if you can continue from that, we can call it banana situation that you were talking about.
Thank you very much. Well, after the deliverance, whatever, like they said, I actually felt my parents never loved me because of where I grew up. So my mom used to shout at me at every minute, like I used to live with family members. So any little thing, they call my mom, report me. Then my mom would, if I buy ticket and come to Nigeria, I will kill you. So that fear was in me right from when I was still very young. So I felt they never loved me. So this really prompted me going into the world. Yeah. So after my encounter with the pastor and those things, so I was with my auntie. So any little thing, they call my mom to report, but that just by the side, because they just wanted to extort money from her. So I felt this something I should cut off. So let me just live on my own. Then I rented my own apartment. So I was having a paid job. I was working in an hotel. That immediately I finished my secondary school. So then I started moving on with illegal friends, bad friends. You know, I want to belong. I want to smoke, do the kind of things they are doing. Big boy, normal thing. So never knew I was destroying myself. So later on I got to think is that time I go to school. So I seek for admission, which I got admission into National University to study criminology and security study. So while I put on for that course, then this Nigeria police recruitment form came out. So I took up the form so as to merge everything. So why after my screening, a family member had a dream that they saw me that was shot on police uniform. So I was like me, they say yes. So my boss wife was kind of scared. So she said, don't talk about this police thing in this house again. I warn you. So later on, the husband friend has similar dream. Then I became scared. Naturally, I don't even like police. So will I start doing what will not add value to me? So I said to just cut it off. So there my mom bought this idea of, why not travel out? So which I did everything I could. Later on, went there, come back. When there, nothing happened. I was being deported just because of BTA.
So what's PTA?
Okay, that was the extra cash I was supposed to be having with me. This is the cash I'm to present in the airport immediately I land. So as to show that I have funds to take care of my stay whenever I come. So that took me about a day and a half in the airport today before I came back to Nigeria. Coming back to Nigeria was a big frustration. Why? Because I've given out all I was having. I used to be a very good cheerful giver. I can share my last dime. So I was not having anything, hoping to go and start a new life outside. No, coming now is like starting from square zero again. This really affected me mentally. So I was really frustrated. So just started moving around. So then I want to do what my mates are doing to get money the way where I see guys living big life, driving big cars. So I initiated myself, trying to do what they are doing as well, which wouldn't have add value to my life. You should know what I'm talking about. So this prompts me to join a gang that really affected me a lot.